Warning, are you a registered member of one of Satan's legal kingdoms with a name of blasphemy against Jesus Christ? Well, let's look at Revelation 17 and 3. The reason I'm bringing you to Revelation 17 and 3 is mainly because when you're doing research, things sometimes come back to mind. And when I looked at the statement of birth record that my parents had filled out at a hospital in the Toronto area, I remember clearly that right beside the surname, where the parents were to fill that in, or the last name, it says print name of child in full, right along the line where only surname occurs. And I said, that's kind of interesting. Why did they line that up right beside the surname, and they didn't really put it in between the two names or look like it's for both? But it's clearly directed towards the surname only. So I said, print child's name in full. Where have I read that in scripture? Something about in full or full. And I realized it brought me to Revelation 17, verse 3. So let's read Revelation 17, verse 3. And it says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness. And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. So I'm going to take you to Strong's Concordance to look at how the word blasphemy is used or what it means. Here are the key definitions of how it was used. It says to defame, rail on, revile, speak evil. Then it goes into one spot in here. It says to make inferior, to insult, to curse with an oath. You will notice that when you do anything in the legal system using the name that was printed in full, especially that surname, that you will swear an oath. Swear is another fancy word for curse. And if you're saying something blasphemous against Christ, well, then we have to look at that name particularly that may have been spoken of in Revelation 17 and 3. So when I take you into the legal definition of surname, this will make a lot more sense. So I'm going to take you to Black's Law, 3rd edition. I'm sure you'll find it in the 4th. And we will go to the legal definition of surname. The family name, the name over and above the Christian name. When you look at the terms over and above, that means superior to, higher than, greater than, with more power. Well, Jesus is spoken of as the name above all names named in the scripture, that every knee would bend to him. So this seems to be an opposite definition, and in a way very derogatory, speaking blasphemous against Christ. Very profane. So certainly this would not be in coherence with Scripture. And therefore, if you're using a surname and it means a name over and above or superior to the Christian name, well, then we are speaking something blasphemous and profane against God and against his son, Jesus Christ. Because we'd be placing a legal system superior to Jesus Christ. So certainly that is not biblical for us to follow, and therefore we have to be very, very careful with our words.